Ready to start.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I am your girl Candy, and I have brought back one of my favorite people, Lynn Richardson, to do Money Making Monday.
Yay!
So I'm so glad you're back, Lynn. Let me just say, before when you came on the show a few weeks ago, when I tell you, you gave me so much good information. It was so many people that were saying they had learned so much, things that we didn't even have any clue, that you could do. And I just really appreciate you sharing that with us. And I know you have so much more to share. So
Yeah.
I really wanted to jump back on the
Well,
now.
I'm happy to be here and thank you so much. And I learned a lot too. Let me tell you, I told everybody, Candy said, do not swipe your and cash app your bill money away. So
Uh-uh.
that,
Oh, I had a few things I want to talk to you about, but then so then I did after I told you that I did something stupid. Well, it wasn't stupid, but I had to because remember how I told you I'd be broke on Cash App? Okay. So this family, well, he's like family to me, but LaMichael Levert, he is like dead set on this Bitcoin thing, right?
mm-hmm.
What you think about Bitcoin?
I don't know enough about it yet. I'm still trying to get people to deal with the coins that we already are not working with right. You
Right.
know, the penny, the nickel, the dime, the quarter, and the 50-cent piece. I'm not up on the Bitcoin yet, but I hear that it's moving and I'm gonna study it. I'm gonna study it.
Yeah, I'm gonna study it too. And we both can learn more information about it before we start sharing it with everybody else.
Right.
But I just had to bring it up because I had this funny story to tell you. So I didn't have an account really hooked up to my Cash App. It was
Right.
like a few $100s in there, and that was it. So that was all you're gonna get that was in there.
Right.
He had called me, was like, you need to buy Bitcoin. And, they about to half, he had all this stuff he was trying to tell me about. And I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe I could try a little bit. Girl, I couldn't even buy the Bitcoin because I didn't even have an account attached to the Cash App. And then the other thing he tried to tell me to connect an account. So I couldn't even do it at first. I literally had to tell one of my friends. Well, I had to tell Don one.
Yeah.
Loan me some money, pay me some money to my Cash App so that I could buy it for the Cash App.
Right.
I didn't buy nothing with my Cash App because I had no money in there.
Yeah, because it's not automatic. Like you got to hook up the bank. They have to check it. You have to hook up your debit card. They have to check that.
Right.
Cash App doesn't even work. I have tried and it will not work.
So
it will work.
Yeah. So needless to say, for those of you that it really does, if you want to make just splurge expenses that you just like at a whim said, oh, I'm gonna buy this today. If you don't connect a real account to that, you have to really think about it because you have time to think about it because you can't just make a quick decision to spend money through Cash App if you have not connected your account.
Yes. And that's the more reason why you should only connect an account with money that if it goes, it goes. It cannot be your bill money. That was the wisest thing all year. You cannot put the bill account on the Cash App. Come on now.
Yes. Yes. So, okay, I see some people on here on the side. I don't know if you can see the live comments, but I see, let me go ahead and shout some of y'all out. I see you guys. I see Sharon Brown said, it's a fraud, girl. She don't believe in that Bitcoin. I see, it's so many people. Candace Davis Hill said, cryptocurrency is still too new to know if there's longevity in it or if it will be profitable, unlike mutual funds that have been around for over 50 plus years. They have a track record. I do agree with you. That is totally, my accountant was like, don't do that. But I was just, I said, hey, I had a little extra that I just said, okay, I'll try, see just a little bit. But I'm not telling anybody else to try it because I like to try things on myself before I can tell anybody else.
Yeah. And the truth is, anything that you do, you have to see what happens over the long term. So are you willing to what investment are you willing to make for probably 5 to 7 years, if not more, to see if it's going to work out? So that becomes the question.
Right. Okay. So I had a few things that I wanted to discuss with you today that
Okay.
is immediate concern for a lot of people.
Yes.
So, when everybody started going into, are we allowed to say quarantine?
Mhm.
When everybody started going in, Light, you guys were giving me information, which I also passed on to everybody else, which
Mhm.
was telling everybody about how they could defer, telling everybody about the loans that the government was passing on, to the people. And we've been finding out more and more about it in the last few weeks. And you and I actually talked about it when you were here last time about the PPP loan, right?
Mhm.
So I wanted to get a little bit more into that today, since some people have already received the PPP loan, and I really wanted us to kind of get more insight on how it works once you receive it. So I actually had a little debate with one of my friends earlier because I felt like she was misinterpreting some
Mm.
rules.
Okay.
Now, I don't
That's
know
great.
if you know this, but yesterday it came out in the news and on social media that one of the gentlemen that was on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta,
Mhm.
he, what's his name? Arizona, no, Arkansas was, crap.
Yeah, Arkansas.
Anyway,
Yeah.
he got $2.2 million from the
Woo.
PPP loan
Yes.
and spent it on jewelry and gave a little bit to his baby mamas for child support. And they caught him and locked his butt up.
Mhm.
So people think that they can do what they want to with their money, but they actually got an eye on us. They watching. The feds is watching.
Yes.
So let me ask you a question, Lynn. Um, Please explain for people who really don't understand, but please explain what the PPP loan is.
So the Paycheck Protection Program loan is administered by the Small Business Association of the United States government. It's a part of the CARES Act. As a matter of fact, I did a campaign with Diddy at myfairshare.org where I explain it. It's about, I think, an 8 or 9 minute video. I go through every single stage of what independent small business owners, independent contractors, freelancers, actors, nail technicians, DJs, all kind of people can qualify for. But the Paycheck Protection Program is designed to do just what it says. It's to protect the paycheck. So during this time, lots of people who are self-employed have been impacted and are no longer receiving pay for work that they otherwise would receive pay for. And I really just thought about it today. Independent contractors and self-employed people really drive at the ground level all business. My grandmother was a cleaning lady. What about the people who mow your lawn? What about people who do your hair? So independent contractors really are the engine of the entire economy. And if they don't have a paycheck, then the economy begins to fall apart. So the Paycheck Protection Loan is designed for businesses, and that includes sole proprietors. So the moment let's just say you open a lemonade stand and you sell somebody some lemonade, you are now a business. You're a sole proprietor. The moment you take money, you are a sole proprietor, whether you know it or not. So it is designed to help every business, including sole proprietors, keep their paycheck so they don't have to lay off employees. Now, if it's just you, that means yourself. The problem with the gentleman from Love and Hip Hop is he said he had a trucking company, he had 107 employees. The paperwork showed that the trucking company, the last activity was in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So for this Paycheck Protection Program, you would have had to be in business by February 20th, February 15th of this year. And it's really to keep your business flowing that you've already had. So if you received a 1099 in 2019, if you received any kind of income in 2019, if you were in business for yourself in 2019, going up through February of 2000 of this year, February 15th, you're entitled to the Paycheck Protection Loan. Now, it's a loan, meaning you have to pay it back to the SBA. The interest rate is 1%, and it's over a 2-year period. However, if you learn the rules of the game and play the game by the rules, if you use it for what they tell you to use it for, then it can be forgiven. So 75% of the Paycheck Protection Program funds can be used for your paycheck. So let's say I apply for the loan, I get $10,000 because they do a calculation based on how much money you made or your business brought in. Let's say I get $10,000. That means 75% of it, that's $7,500, I can pay myself. Now, here's what independent people typically do. Let's say I'm doing somebody's hair and then they give me some money and then I get ready to go eat. I just take the money that they gave me and I go buy something to eat. That's really an improper way to do business. The Paycheck Protection Program, the reason why I like it so much is it's forcing everybody to actually run their business like a business, including sole proprietorships. So when I got my Paycheck Protection funds for my business, I had to take that money, put it in another account, and then I can pay myself. I can write a check to Lynn Richardson and the memo, put payroll, and now I'm in compliance. So 75%, $7,500. Take that, divide it by 8 weeks because it's designed to protect your paycheck for 8 weeks. Divide it by 8 and pay yourself that amount each week. The remaining 25% is for your business rent and your business utilities and some business interest payments. So that's what it can be used for, and it's helping a lot of people out.
Okay, that I'm glad you explained it that way. So you said 75% of that can go to just one person?
Yes. If you are, so when you fill out the Paycheck Protection Program application, they ask you, what is your business name? If it's just you, you put your name. They ask you for your employer identification number. If it's just you, you put your employer identification number, your social security number as your employer identification number. Then they ask you your address, what kind of business you have, sole proprietorship. Then they ask about your personal. So again, if you're a sole proprietor, you put yourself. And then they say, how many employees do you have? If you're a sole proprietor, you say 1 employee. You are the employee. So that's why business is great and everybody needs to have a business, because the government has found a way to help people who are in business for themselves.
Right. But then there are a lot of people like Arkansas Mo who claim to have businesses, or either they actually do have businesses and have employees. So those people are able to get more money. But here's the thing that from my understanding, nobody that you pay can have a salary of more than $100,000, right? But that's for the entire year, correct?
Correct.
You can't pay them just $100,000 in those 8 weeks.
You can't
just take $100,000 for their sales for the 8 weeks if they do.
So this is how it works. So any salary over $100,000 is not considered. So if you have an employee who makes, let's just say, for example, $115,000, then the only thing that's going to be included in the calculation is the first $100,000. So $100,000 is included. You take 100,000, divide that by 12. You come up with the average monthly payroll for that person. 100,000 divided by 12 is somewhere around $8,000, or whatever the number is. You multiply that times 2.5, and the person doesn't get 100,000. They get 100,000 divided by 8 times 2.5 months, which is 8 weeks. That's how much they get. So if a company has 100 employees like that, that could end up being millions and millions of dollars. The problem with people wanting to buy other things with this money, it's actually a very simple problem to solve. First of all, pay the salaries to the people who you owe them to. And if you are one of your own employees, pay yourself. Once you pay yourself, you can go buy whatever you want. You can go buy a moose if you want to. You can buy a cow, a moose, a purse, whatever. You just can't take the Paycheck Protection money and go and do that, because it's not designed for your personal lavish expenses. It's designed to give you a paycheck.
Right. Okay. So this is the other thing that I want to make clear, because I do know a lot of people they look at the money and say, oh, it's a 1% loan. So even if I don't even use all of the money for this, then I'll just pay the loan back at 1%. But I wanted the people to understand and be clear that it's a 1% loan, but it's only a 24-month loan, and it starts from the day that you get the actual approval or whatever, and you sign it. Now, at that point, they defer it for 6 months, and then you only have 18 months left after they tell you how much they're going to forgive you. So here's the issue that I have with a lot of people that I've talked to that said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna just keep it on, la la la." Okay, if say for instance, if they got a couple $100,000 because they, have people whatever.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Let's say only 100,000 got forgiven. Let's say they have 150,000 that was not forgiven. They only have 18 months to pay that money back.
Right.
Or just give it all away, whatever they didn't use it, they can give it back to them up front. But a lot of people in their heads thinking, oh, it's only a 1% loan, I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah.
And pay the loan. But it's a loan that has to be paid within 18 months. So let's say $150,000 loan in 18 months, that's at least $8,300 and some dollars that you pay a month in a note.
First of all, here's the thing. I don't think people really understand. It's not just as simple as, well, if I don't use it for that, I'll just pay the loan back. You promise to pay salaries and payroll with that money. Mm-hmm. So if you have hundreds of thousands of dollars, that wasn't just for you and your salary, because you can't get $100,000 just for one person. If you're getting that kind of money, like you said, he said he had 107 employees. So if he got $2 million, if you do the math, that's somewhere around $20,000 or something like that per employee. So that's about the amount that would make sense per employee. So if you just decide to go spend it on other things, then one, you're not doing what you said you were going to do. And I think people need to really understand. He basically walked in the bank and signed the papers and walked out and got arrested because they came fast. This didn't take.
That's what I said. I was like, they didn't even give him a chance to try to pay them back.
They came fast. And let me tell you, they're going to come fast. They're going to come quick. 2020 is the year of double everything. Look at the number 2020. So we see it's going to be double good, double bad. So the first problem with people just saying, I'll just pay the loan back is if you did not pay any employees, you're going to be in trouble. If you submitted on your application that you had 100 and something employees, and after it's all said and done, you didn't pay anybody, that's going to be a problem. So I think it's going to be more than just, well, I didn't pay anyone, so I'm going to just go on and pay the loan back. That's the first thing. The second thing is this. This is simply a matter of moving the money to a different column. It's like when I talked about hiring your kids to work in your home-based business. If you give your kids money, you just gave them some money. But if you give them a paycheck, now you get it back. By calling it something else, you get to stay within what the IRS allows us to do and what our IRS awards us for. So if I get the money and if I go buy a purse or whatever, then I'm violating the rules. I got to pay it back. But if I call it a paycheck, here's the other thing. Hire your family members. You can hire your family members. There's nothing wrong with hiring your family members. Many people have family members working in their business. You, me, as a matter of fact, everybody I know who's successful has family members working in their business.
You said hire the kids last time you was here.
Hire the IRS. It says publication 15. Don't make me pull it out. I'm going to pull it out for the people. IRS publication 15 says in black and white, and it says up to age 18, it's tax-free to the kids. Now, here's the problem. It doesn't even have a minimum age. So Blaze and Ace can model, okay, which they are already doing. So yeah,
you're gonna get me in trouble, girl. You're gonna get me in trouble.
They can model. Make sure you write a contract, let them model for the business, pay them the salary, put all your ducks in a row, issue them a 1099 at the end of the year, you're done. Okay. Other people been doing it forever.
That's a good one. Now, production had a question up here. They brought it down because we was ignoring it. But till you bring that up, I want to ask you one of the questions from our people in the comments. They said, Innocent says, could you please repeat the formula one more time of how you come up with the So whatever you said about divided 12 months, which
No problem. So you take the annual salary, divide by 12. So if it's, let's just make it an even number. If it's 120,000, I'm using this as an example so I can get to an even number. If it's $120,000 for the year, divided by 12, that means that's 10,000.
Because they were only 100,000 up to $100,000.
Right. They'll do up to 100,000. If it's $100,000 per year, divide that by 12, get your number, and multiply by 2.5. That's how much you're eligible for the Paycheck Protection Program. Okay. So if a company has 100 employees, that's what they're doing for each one of those employees and whatever their salary is. If it's just you and your company and it's only one employee, then you're good. I know people who are getting the Paycheck Protection loan and are actually hiring their children. They're hiring their kids who actually work for them.
Okay. Here's the question from production. They said, when you receive the loan and pay yourself, does it have to be as an employee with a W-2, or can it be just as a 1099?
Yes, you can pay as a 1099, as you always have. So you do not have to withhold taxes. You don't have
people that you're going to hire during that time. Does everybody have to be on payroll, or can you have people that you're paying a 1099?
You can pay people as 1099 employees, because technically you're paying yourself as a 1099 employee. Whenever you make that payment to yourself, you can pay other 1099 employees as well. Absolutely. You are not required to have to file 941s. A 941 is what you file when you have W-2 employees. You are not required to have a 941 situation, and you're not required to hire people and pay them as W-2 employees.
Okay, yeah, that was a question that I had myself, because I was like, okay, during this time, it's like, who all, do you count? Because, you have your employees, but then you also have like other people you may hire let's say we have a cleaning crew to come in to do something or this or that. Like, can they be counted as well? Being, forgiven.
Yes, as long as you make a notation that it's payroll, you're all good. Absolutely. So I'm telling people, I'm going back to the basics. I actually went and opened a separate account, and I got checks. I got personal checks. I haven't written a check since I don't know when. But I write personal checks right to myself. I deposit, because we can't go anywhere. So I deposit them on the phone. It comes out of one account, goes into the other. And mine was with Citibank. So my bank continues to send information updating me on what the steps are. They have not provided the steps for the other 25%. We'll get to that in a minute. The other 25% can be used for business, rent, lease, interest, and also utilities. The issue is, if you are self-employed and you have a home-based business, can you pay yourself rent? And so,
right, how does that work? Because we got a lot of self-employed people, or people who have jobs, but they have their own businesses on the side. Can they also apply for this loan?
Absolutely. So let's say you get a W-2 from your regular job, big company Inc. And that's great. That's fine. Maybe you're filing for unemployment, or you're doing whatever. But you also have a side hustle. You have a side gig. You have a side job where you freelance doing whatever it is that you do. Absolutely. You can still apply for the PPP. One of the key things to let you know, if you have a 1099, you are self-employed. If you have a 1099, you're self-employed, and that 1099 can be used as documentation to justify the amount of money that you're asking for.
Okay. Well, that is good news. We have, and if you're not self-employed yet, honey, sign on up with Bedroom Candy. You'll be your own business owner.
We told them last time, we said they could sign up back then for $35, wasn't it? They can, I don't know what it is now, but they better go and do it.
They better go and do it. I have another person that comments. Mackenzie Graff says, please talk about the EIDL loan. Can you explain the difference between the PPP and the EIDL?
Yes. So the EIDL, this is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. And this was the first one to really kind of bust out of the gate in terms of federal funding. Somewhere around the first, maybe the second week of March, people got information, and everybody and their mama applied. I mean, everybody applied. The money got eaten up very quickly. So what they promised to do, they promised to first give the first $10,000 was a grant. It's not a loan at all. And once they approve you for the loan, you can still keep the grant, hands down. Okay. They changed their minds after everybody applied. And then they said, well, it's not a $10,000 grant. It's a $1,000 grant per employee up to $10,000. So if you applied and you only had one employee, if you thought you were getting $10,000, it didn't happen. You only get 1,000. But if you had 10 or more employees, you could get that. So they started sending those funds out mid-April. I got money in my account. I didn't even know where it's from. I don't even look at this account a lot. And I happened to look at it because I pay for my parents' life insurance and other things out of that account. And I said, whoa, where did this come from? So I checked with quite a few people and they just deposited the money in there. They didn't send an email to say it's coming or anything. So that's free money. But they are still assessing. All of the applications came in for the other loan, which is the economic injury disaster loan. And it also is designed to help with your business operations. You can use it for payroll, you can use it for operations, you can use it for many different things. But I hesitate because they're not telling us anything and they've already changed their minds once. So I'm very hesitant to say what it's going to be when they start sending more of those funds out. You can no longer apply for the EIDL. However, I say check anyway, because just this past Thursday, the HEROES Act emerged where they're thinking about another $1 trillion or more dollars for funding for individuals and for businesses. The key is businesses are going to get way more money than individuals. So if you were waiting for an unemployment check, you can get your unemployment plus about $600 a week. I see people who make $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year. They're not just getting that $1,000 from unemployment. They're getting $10,000, $12,000 from the EIDL. So you definitely want to move forward. And the math is so simple. So let's say you make on average $5,000 a month. 5,000, that's $60,000 a year. 5,000 times 2.5, that means your Paycheck Protection funding will be $12,500. That's more money than you were making, working and going out every day and spending money on gas and things like that. So it pays to be in business. Everybody has to have a home-based business.
And that's money that would be completely forgiven that you do not pay back. All you got to do is show them the proof of how you spent it.
Yep.
Here's another question from Tyree Sanders. Said, I want to hear more information about how you pay yourself rent, even if you're the property owner. So how can you pay yourself rent, count that towards the approved expenses, even though he owns the property?
Yeah, we've got to wait on some direction from that. So if you pay office rent someplace else, then it's easy. You just pay your rent to whomever. Let's say if you are, and not that a lot of this is happening, but if, for example, you were still paying booth rent or something like that, because you rent space from someone to do whatever the work is that you do, you can pay that rent to the other individual. How you pay rent to yourself, particularly if you work out of your own home, that has not been explained yet. Although I do believe they are going to have allowances, because the IRS, just like the IRS allows you to hire your kids, the IRS allows you to have a home-based business and have a home office. When you have a home office, do you know you can write off your rent, mortgage, light bill, gas bill, telephone bill, cable bill, alarm system bill, pool cleaning bill, maintenance bill, every bill that you have coming in for the house, you get to write off a percentage of that. So let's say your home office is 25% of your home. And let's say your mortgage is $2,000 a month, or your rent. It doesn't matter, rent or mortgage. So a lot of people think renters don't have any benefits. Yes, you do. See, once you have once home-based business enters the game, your whole life changes. Everything changes. People are struggling, trying to figure out what to do. Get a business. Get a business. There are so many benefits. So you have a home-based business, you pay $2,000 a month for rent. If 25% of your home is your is your home office. Now you get to write off 25% of your rent. That's $500 a month. 500 times 12 is $6,000. That's too much money to leave on the table. Then your light bill, your gas bill, like all of your other bills. So you have to, this is the problem, Candy, that I think is the biggest issue. We're lazy. People are lazy. People are lazy and you don't want to do the work, but it takes a lot of work to be broke. Being broke is the hardest work ever. I know. I've been there. I never want to go back there. Let me tell you, child, trying to rob Peter to pay Paul. When I was real broke, me and my husband, because I've been married 25 years, so we started out with nothing and have grown, together. But I remember sometimes going out to eat with other couples, and I'm trying to figure out how we gonna pay the bill. I'm looking at my, trying to figure out how I'm gonna move. The bill is only $60. I don't have $60. I'm trying to move $60. Right. So the energy, the mind energy that you have to put into managing being broke, you can take that away and put it into getting your money right, and you have less stress. Right. So, but we'll stay tuned about how you can pay the business rent. So I'm telling people to leave the 25%, just leave it there until we know what to do with it. And then some people say, well, I don't want to take it because I'm worried. Well, you can always give it back. You can take the money, and if that portion does not line up and you don't want to pay it back, then just give the money back. So keep yourself open and stay educated.
So basically, for people who don't know, basically, once you get the loan, they give you the loan. You have 8 weeks to spend the money that it can be forgiven. After the 8 weeks, you have between 8 weeks up to the 6-month period to report all the money that you spent, and then they let you know how much of it they're going to forgive. So let's say if they gave you, I had some friends who were self-employed, they got $20,000 or whatever. So they're going to send in their reporting of how they spent the money over the 8 weeks. Hopefully they can, give reports to show that they did 75% of it went towards their annual salary, like how the calculation that Lynn gave. Okay. So let's say that all the 20,000 got forgiven. They don't have to pay that money back at all. But let's say that the government say, well, you know what? We'll forgive $15,000 of that, but $5,000 of that, we want you to pay us back. I mean, it's going to have to be paid over the next 18 months, or whatever. Because remember, it's a 24-month loan. First 6 months is deferred. The last 18 months is when the payments kick in. So let's say, okay, that $5,000 a month is only at 1%. It's split up over the 18 months, and then you pay that back. Or you decide, you know what, I still had that 5,000 sitting here, so I'm just going to give it to you now. Yeah. Whatever. But at least you got the money, you made the decision, and you had time to make a decision on if you're just going to give it back or if you figured out a way to make it make sense so that they could forgive the loan and you got that money debt free.
Yeah. So. Now, here's the other thing. People aren't even thinking about this, Candy. This is big, and this is my first time saying this. I've thought about it, but I haven't said it. If you mess this up, what you gonna do after that?
That's the scary part.
So for everybody who's saying, well, I'll just pay it back, this thing is going longer than anticipated. I just found out 2 weeks ago that I'm in California. We're on the stay-at-home order till August. They said through July, that means August.
That's scary.
I won't go anywhere till August. The Paycheck Protection Program is for 8 weeks. If you got your money at the end of April or early part of May, that means by the end of June, it's gone. So, and they're talking about the HEROES Act. They're coming up with more money to fund businesses and individuals and unemployment and all of these things. If you mess up this money, do you think you're going to be able to, because you have to turn in the report. And let me tell you, the same way they came and arrested this guy fast, they're approving them very quickly. They're able to see very quickly, here's what it is. You have your documentation. Do you have your Schedule C, your profit and loss? That's the other thing. A lot of people don't know their numbers. So they're getting denied because they don't have the proper paperwork when they apply. You must supply either a Schedule C, that's what they're asking for now, or a profit and loss statement, which means you need to know how much money you had come in, how much money you spent on actually doing your business, and then how many expenses you had for your business. You have to turn that in. So, and they're doing those numbers fast, and they're sending that money out in less than 48 hours. I've seen people get automatically approved. I've seen people get approved in 15 minutes. I've seen some people get approved in a couple days. Everybody's getting their money in less than 48 hours. So if they're doing that fast, the next time there's some money available, because they do ask you, do you have a previous SBA loan program or anything? Next time you'll have to report yes. And next time they'll look at, see what you did, and then they'll tell you no, because they're not going to just keep giving people money to do what they want to do.
Right. So here is my question. Because everybody doesn't have a bank, but well, it's not my question. It's a couple people that's asking, where can they apply for the PPP loan? Most people are applying through their bank, but could you give them some resources of where they can look to find out where they can apply?
One of the best places that you can go is if you have a community bank. The community banks are doing exceptionally well. So I have a bank account at all the major banks, but I also have a bank account at my little community bank in Chicago. They're not even open on the weekends. So if something happened to your card, you got to wait till Monday. You know, it's that kind of bank.
The smaller banks was approving quicker than the bigger banks.
Yes, they were. So my small bank, and my small bank I've had since, I don't know, the 90s. And I didn't even have any money in there, Candy. I just happened to have the account. But I wanted to see what this process was going to look like. They approved me fast, but the big bank approved me. So I took that one and I just kept it moving. But people can, so your small bank, the big banks, if you haven't already applied, it's probably not going to happen. PayPal, Square, Cabbage, Blue Vine. There's a whole bunch of other third-party companies and institutions that are allowing you to apply for the Paycheck Protection Program. So go to ourfairshare.com. There's more free information there. But if you reach out to Candy with her link and get to me, then I'll send anybody whatever information they have, because sometimes people have been denied, but they can go someplace else and get approved. I've also seen that happen. But most of the time people get denied because they don't know what they're doing. That's usually why.
Okay. What else was I gonna say? I have so many questions.
I know, right? This is exciting though. I think this is good. It's good for business. A lot of people are concerned that the Nashville, Antoine, whatever his name is. I'm so sorry. I keep forgetting the name. I should remember the name. But they're thinking that it's going to paint a bad picture for African Americans. It's not. You know, we're not the only people who do things wrong. As a matter of fact, there are a whole lot of people who are not African American who are in jail for white collar crimes and things like that. However, at the same time, we still should do our very best to honor this process, to be counted. That was my big thing. I wanted our people to be counted. People of color, women, small businesses of any color. I don't care which color it is, but I don't care if you do hair or if you clean houses. I wanted us all to be counted. So now that we are being counted, let's honor it. Let's follow the rules, and let's let ourselves be counted in the future.
Well, thank you, Lynn. You have given us so much great information. It's like I feel like I need to say more, but I didn't want to go too long. They're like, you're going too long.
That's me too. I can talk forever.
Yeah. It's so many questions in the chat, but I will post you guys my link so that you can connect with Lynn, get more information. She has books as well that also have a lot of websites and different things that can help you with funding for your businesses, and also other write-offs and different things you may not have realized that you could do. And I just need you guys to do your research. We can only tell you so much in this short period of time, but I hope this has put a little bug in your ear so that you can look more into it. What is that you're showing us?
The kids, you can hire your kids to work in your home-based business. It's on IRS Publication 15. It's right there at irs.gov. It's there.
You heard what she said, because I saw some. Oh, Candace Stonehawker says more details on how to hire your kids.
Yes.
Okay, just post it.
There's a webinar at Candy's link. There's a webinar, how to hire your kids, the Symphony, a guide to creating and balancing multiple streams of income, business finance one-on-one. There's so many things there for people to really start learning. And since everybody's at home, right now is the time to get your health and your wealth in order. That's it.
Get your health and your wealth. I like that now. Get your health and your wealth in order.
What else is there? Just your health and your wealth, and loving on your family. That's all that's all there is right now.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Lynn. I appreciate this.
Thank you.
Our Money Making Monday webisode this week, and I definitely want to have you come back again. I really appreciate you.
Yeah. And I'll give Don Juan all the updates. As I get any updates, I'll keep sending them so that your team will have everything. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Right. Thank you
guys for joining us. And until next time, thank you for watching. Oh, wait a minute. Like, subscribe, comment, share to my YouTube page. Okay. Subscribe. We're going to have a lot of great content and a lot of great information that we're going to keep giving to you. So thank you guys for watching Making Monday.
Yay.
Oh.